What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an EP review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new EP from the band Abysmal Lord, entitled Storms of Unholy Black Mass. This is released on Hells Headbangers Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of New Orleans, Louisiana, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very archaic, bestial, raw and primitive style of death metal and black metal. Uh, the first time I had ever heard of this band was sometime around last year when the latest installment of the Destroying Texas Fest lineup was announced. They were a band that were going to be included on the bill, and I wanted to get further acquainted with this band. And by getting acquainted with this band, I was led on to their 2013 demo. Pretty much it was a rough and filthy sort of demo, but with what you heard on that release showcased a bunch of potential. I mean, think if you will to stuff like, let's say, Blasphemy or Proclamation. It had a very, very raw and primitive sort of sound going on for it, and really it showed a lot of potential. And not to mention, some of the people that are involved with this band are in another pretty well-known band within the death metal underground called Grave Ritual. They're a really, really great band in their own right, but Abysmal Lord is something completely different. A lot more bestial and chaotic. Now, we have a new release under the Abysmal Lord name, and it is a brand new EP offering of sorts. It's only 5 tracks, and it clocks in at around 26 minutes in length, so pretty much you're going to get a very fulfilling EP. Pretty much every song on here is on the lengthy side, but yet, once you get into the midst of listening to this EP, you're going to realize what kind of statement Abysmal Lord are setting out to make. And it only is hyping up any further anticipation I may have into wanting to listen to this band put out a full-length album. And I'm optimistic that Abysmal Lord will do something of that nature, because I think this is some incredibly impressive black death metal. Hell, you could even put war metal into this sort of equation if that's your sort of thing. I really, really think they get the job done here and deliver something incredibly impressive. There are lots and lots of crazy and chaotic riffs and chords to be heard on this EP. From the minute you hear the opening track, Terrorist Dawn, and then moving on to the next 4 tracks soon after, just a lot of really, really crazy and creative guitar riffs. Just very, very evil and pummeling. I love the way that these riffs are being handled here. Moving forward to tracks like Gnashing of Teeth and Angels of Persecution. Just the riffs, the riff work, the structuring, the sound, the tone, it just feels so raw and punishing. I just love the way these guitar riffs are being handled and executed here. The riffs are great. The solos sound very, very chaotic. That's where you almost pick up that war metal sort of influence going on. Really, really incredible stuff. Bass tone is also just as pummeling as the guitar. It isn't too audible, but yet I think it's audible enough to be appropriate for this album's sort of production and mixing, because this is a band that doesn't really pride itself on cleanliness. This is as dirty, as filthy as it gets, and you're going to get filthy and dirty production when it comes to the overall sound and ideas and aspects of this band. And the bass tone is very, very well handled here. Definitely a great balance for the overall length and pace of the EP. The drums are very, very awesome. You're going to get a great, great pummeling of blast beats. Just a lot of great mid-paced moments. Once again, a drum performance that's not meant to be clean or fancy. It just is a hard-working sort of drum performance, and this guy really, really delivers some incredible drumming. Pretty much, when it comes to the lengthier tracks of this album, pretty much going back to Angels of Persecution, just some really, really great drum work to be displayed on that track. And the vocals are something to behold, too. I really, really like the way the vocals are handled here. Very commanding-like, very very harsh, very primitive, and very disgusting sounding. You can understand everything this guy says, but the way he delivers everything, it's just so smooth sounding. And his vocals definitely instill a bit of terror in you, almost almost like a minister. I use this sort of idea before when it comes to the way vocalists handle themselves. It's almost as if you're in the midst of battle and you're listening to him preach his commands of getting ready to go to war. And that's the kind of idea you get when you listen to the tracks. Once again, going back to Angels of Persecution, and then the next two tracks soon after, Storm's View and Revelation. Just some really, really great vocals going on there. Very evil sounding, very nasty, and almost frightening at times. So, overall, if you're into black metal, death metal, war metal, if you happen to be into stuff like Proclamation or Blasphemy, maybe even Beherit or Revenge, this is going to be a band to be on the lookout for. Abysmal Lord deliver a very, very impressive EP. I wish it was a little longer, but what can you do? You just got to roll with the punches here. I think Abysmal Lord delivers something very, very special here with Storms of Unholy Black Mass. So I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to the Hells Headbangers Bandcamp page where you can stream this EP in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can buy it digitally, and you can also buy the 12-inch vinyl through Hells Headbangers. I believe they have it on red and black vinyl. There are also shirts available, and if you want to check them live, they will be playing at the 10th edition of the Destroying Texas Fest coming up in October, with bands such as Sacro Curse, Oath of Cruelty, and headlining. I mentioned Revenge earlier. Revenge are going to be headlining this show, so it's going to be awesome. So, again, the EP is Storms of Unholy Black Mass by Abysmal Lord. This is released on Hells Headbangers Records. Definitely check this out, and I'm going to give this a very strong 8 out of 10. Very, very bestial and powerful war metal from Abysmal Lord. So, I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until next time, Army Hell out.